Okay guys, youth is the key on today's topic. You've been watching me for a while. You've seen I've been speaking out a lot about the taxes that we face in Canada, bringing in some incentives, whether it's around the property transfer tax, GST, obviously that they've done something about, whether it's even an adjustment to things like the first time home savers account. Because at the end of the day, as we all know, like this boomer generation is all set up with real estate. It's been fine. They paid significantly less prices for their homes. They've got them in the bag, nothing to worry about at all. It's the youth that are going to struggle the most. And the problem is if you can't have your younger generations buy real estate, then essentially it's all going to come to a grinding halt. So the youth needs to be incentivized some way. So that's either with something like a first time home savers account, which I don't think goes far enough. Again, with these GST rebates, which I don't think goes far enough. They're talking about supply of 500,000 being built by the Liberal government. Okay, also that's not going to be enough, but they've not done anywhere near that. They've done like zero. But again, I will caveat that whether the Conservatives were in, whether the NDP got in, they would also not be building enough new homes at all. Economically, that's not really too feasible at the moment, considering the state of the pre-sale market, but that's a conversation for a different day. So what I'm looking at is, okay, well, what incentivizes the youth to buy? And believe it or not, one of the biggest factors of people buying real estate or not is whether they have a job. And anyone who's probably seen this figure on social media, I think it was in July, the youth unemployment rate tipped up to 14.6%, which is huge, an absolutely huge amount. And the problem is if you've got all these people who can't afford homes, then they're not going to be purchasing homes. And there is your problem, let alone the fact that they're too expensive. Even if they want to buy these homes from the older generations, they cannot do so because they don't have jobs. So that leaves one thing. The way that you're going to incentivize the youth to get involved in this, other than the incentives traditionally that we've spoken about before, is having a booming economy. And so I'm looking, okay, what's happening there with us in Canada? What's happening? So these nation building projects are supposed to be coming soon. I don't know when they're going to come. We don't know what projects there are. And this is where I think you could veer off on who would have done a better job, whether it's going to be the Liberals, whether it's going to be the Conservatives, whether it's going to be the NDP. And this is where I could really see the difference. So the Conservatives, the difference in which they would have made very clearly was they would have like repealed all of these bills and all of these bans on tankers and all of these other projects, etc., and pipeline issues and so on and so forth, that would have allowed for a lot more emphasis on the energy side of things, which would have, in theory, made Alberta and surrounding areas thrive with these other projects and so on and so forth, which means more jobs, which means more people being hired, which of course means people earning more money. Hopefully they would have obviously further reduced, and I'm talking Liberal or Conservatives or NDP here, hopefully they further reduce these trade barriers between the provinces. They still need to go the full way, which again could open up more trade and could help our economy wise. But other than that, I'm not really seeing anything which is pushing our economy in the right direction. I mean, interest rates aren't low. We're not really getting investment. In fact, Canada's bleeding investment compared to other countries. All of this stuff that's been spoken about in the US, like these massive hundreds of millions and billions of investment, we're not getting here in Canada. We seem to be stepping on our own foot. We have this really big hate on energy, which is essentially what funds Canada to a large extent, and really is our golden ticket to a successful economy. And in my opinion, it's not how do we get around using energy as our golden ticket. It's going to be when do we just actually get on and use our golden ticket. It's a little bit, I hate to be pessimistic with this because I am an optimistic person, but I'm not seeing the support that the youth needs just on a day-to-day basis, like not even buying a home. Like for the people who are willing to go out there and work and put in the effort and put in the time and, you know, actually be able to live a life of being able to achieve something is huge. And that dream just seems to be slowly fading away in Canada at the moment for the masses. And I really want to see this Liberal government step up so that they can push the economy forward. So even if these other incentives don't come in, there's at least something backing people in order to create a life for themselves, whether they're looking to buy real estate or not. Naturally, that does have a knock-on effect. As I mentioned, if the unemployment rate is high, people don't have jobs, they're not looking to get mortgages, meaning they're not looking to purchase homes. And we run the risk of eventually, you know, when this boomer generation starts, you know, dying and the real estate is left, not everything is going to be left to children and homes are going to need to be sold, but there's just not going to be people there to actually pick them up, or there's not going to be enough people there to pick them up. So I worry that we're just really avoiding something which is going to be a catalyst for such a shock further on down the line. And I mean, they're smart people in government, so I hope that they're thinking about this, and I hope that they're not doing the political thing of, you know, well, we're just going to push it out to the future, and hopefully when SH1T hits the fan, it's not us in power and we can blame the other party, no matter who it may be. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it. If you have any comments on what you think it is, drop them below. I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this one.